The fairy tale, The Little Lion and the Rainy Walk. Little Lion Lou lived in a sunny valley and couldn't stand the rain. Ugh, it's wet, cold, and full of puddles, he complained every time the drops began to fall. He would hide in his cave, wrap himself in a blanket, and watch sadly as the other animals ran around under their umbrellas. But one day, his best friend, Rabbit Max, invited him for a walk. "We're going to look for a rainbow," Max said excitedly. "In the rain?" Lou asked, startled. "Well, yeah, you don't get rainbows without rain," Max winked. Lou hesitated, but then he put on his brightest raincoat, grabbed an umbrella, and carefully stepped outside. At first, it felt strange. The raindrops tickled his whiskers. The ground squelched under his paws. But then, he heard how cheerfully the rain tapped on the leaves. He saw how the drops bounced on the rocks, and he realized he wasn't melting, he wasn't soaked through, he was simply living in this day. And you know what? They found a rainbow, a real one. Its colors were just like Lou, bright, bold, and true. From then on, whenever it rained, Lou was the first to grab his umbrella. Because courage isn't when you feel no fear, it's when you step outside and take the fear with you. The fairy tale, The Pebble That Didn't Shine. By the lake, among the sparkling stones, lay one very ordinary pebble. It wasn't bright, grayish, with a little crack on the side. Every morning the sun played with the glossy surfaces of its neighbors, while this pebble quietly hid in the shade. "I'm not shiny. I'm not interesting," he thought. "Who would want to put me in their pocket or show me to their friends?" Animals would pass by, picking the brightest stones, and the gray one just stayed there. One day a hedgehog came along. He wasn't looking for something pretty. He was looking for something real. He walked over, picked up the gray pebble, ran his paw gently over the crack and said, "Wow, you're so warm, and it looks like there's a pattern inside you, like the rings of a tree." The pebble froze. No one had ever looked at him like that before. "You're special," the hedgehog added. "I can feel it. You're real." From then on, the pebble didn't become shinier, but he stopped hiding because he understood. To shine isn't about the light on the outside. It's about the warmth inside and those who notice it. The fairy tale, The Little Elephant and His Too Loud Laugh. Little Elephant Bim laughed very loudly. When he was happy, not only did he laugh, the leaves on the trees laughed, the dishes in the cupboard rattled, and even the snails jumped in surprise. "Bim, quieter," they often asked. "You laugh like thunder in July. Your laugh makes my ears tremble." So Bim started holding back. He no longer laughed out loud. He only smiled into his whiskers. But inside, it felt like someone had trapped spring in a jar and wouldn't let it bloom. One day, he went to the forest theater. A frog was performing, a very funny one. And suddenly, bam! A joke that made Bim's real laugh burst out, loud, rolling across the whole clearing. The theater went silent, and then Someone chuckled, then another, then the whole audience laughed. "You laugh so much that even sadness runs away," the frog said. "We've all been missing this Bim." From then on, Bim never hid his laugh again, because he understood being yourself doesn't mean being quiet. It means being real, even if you sound like a celebration. The fairy tale Sadness in a Jar. Little bear Nolly had a special jar. It stood on the shelf, closed tightly with a lid. Inside lived his sadness. Every time he felt out of place, clumsy, or lonely, he would put a small blue marble into the jar, and right away close the lid tight. No one should see this, he thought. I'm supposed to be happy and strong. But with each day, the jar grew heavier, until one day, boom, the lid popped off, and all the blue marbles rolled across the floor. "Oh no," Nolly gasped. "Now everyone will know." But right there was Mia the squirrel. She sat down beside him and began picking up the marbles. "They're beautiful," she said. "So deep. Are these your feelings?" "Yes," Nolly whispered. "I didn't know what to do with them." Mia looked at him gently. "You can just be. With them, no hiding yourself." They gathered the marbles, placed them into a soft little pouch, and hung it in the window so the sunlight could fall on them. Since then, Nolly never closed the lid again, because he understood. Feelings aren't meant to be hidden. They're meant to stay close so they won't scare you. The fairy tale, the most important word. Puppy Leo had one little habit. He almost never said no. When someone asked to borrow his toy, he gave it. When they invited him to play loud games that gave him a headache, he went, even if he really wanted to stay home. It's polite, Leo thought. What if they get upset? But every night he went to bed feeling tired, as if with every yes there was less of him left. One day he met a turtle named Lynn. She always spoke calmly and clearly. "No, I can't today. No, I don't like that. No, thank you." Leo was surprised. "And no one calls you names?" "No," Lynn smiled, "but I do feel like myself." Leo decided to try. First, a quiet, "No, I don't feel like it." Then, a little louder, "No, I'm resting right now." And then, even confidently, "No, this is mine, and I'm not ready to share." And guess what? The world didn't fall apart. His friends stayed, and Leo felt stronger. Because courage isn't always about dragons and big speeches. Sometimes it's just an honest no that says, "I respect myself."